Just a whole baby. She can make you think she a monster, ain't it? Okay. What's up, soil brothers and soil sisters? Good morning. And it is a beautiful, beautiful morning out here. I never thought I would be so happy for the weather to start cooling off, because we grow tropical fruit, and the longer the weather is warm, the better it is. But man, it's been a scorcher this year. I mean, it's been intolerable. It was too hot to do anything. It was too hot for most of the plants to actually produce the way they're supposed to. Guys, we grow tropical fruit. It was too hot for them. It was too hot for them. And now that the weather is cooling off, things are starting to fruit, which is very, very weird. You know what I mean? So I never lived in the tropics. I always lived in the subtropical area, but I love tropical fruit, and we are unable to get that fruit unless we go way down south to get that fruit. Well, so what we decided to do is do what was necessary for us to grow those fruit here in our subtropical climate. Alright, so I think we did pretty well, you know, and we found out some ways to be able to successfully do that. So if you live in a subtropical climate and you like tropical fruit, but you just can't afford to get them shipped in, or you don't go down south, hey, try your hand at some of these methods that I'm about to tell you on how we accomplish getting some of this tropical fruit and tropical plants to grow in our subtropical area. So guys, one thing that we found amazing is that there are so many amazing fruit that we never heard of prior to growing and going down south and investigating. And then we found out there's a ton of other people who have those same issues. They never heard of a lot of these plants. Okay. So when people say that you can't grow certain trees, plants in your area, they mean you cannot grow them in a way that they're accustomed to being grown in the tropical area. You can't leave them outside unprotected and grow them the way they need to be grown. But you can do little things that actually will allow you to be successful at growing these things. And some of those things I'm going to show you today. It's a lot of them, so I'm not going to show you all of them, but you will kind of get the idea on how you can be successful at growing some of these tropical fruit in your subtropical area. Yes, you know, zone 6, 7, 8, I mean, it can be done. Now each zone going to require a different method, so you're going to have to tweak this to your zone, but I'm going to give you how we do it in our zone, and the tweaking shouldn't be too much different. So what we're going to do is let's see, we're going to start with the passion fruit. Alright, passion fruit is an amazing fruit. It's one of those things that can be grown out in one season if you follow this method. Alright, so yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work if you're not willing to put in that work, because maybe that fruit just ain't that important to you, or just your life is too busy, or you just don't want to do it. Then that's fine. But if you enjoy this fruit, which in a lot of y'all probably never tried, then these are some methods where you can be successful at growing these things year after year. Alright, so a little bit about passion fruit, maypop, whatever you want to call it. It is a tropical fruit and is generally used in the flavoring of fruit punch. Alright, so when you eat it naked, it really don't taste like fruit punch. It's It's amazing. It's an undescribable taste, but to me it is amazing and I love it. So it is one of those fruit you probably gonna pretty much love it or hate it, but it is very easy to grow, and it's just gonna require you, if you live in a subtropical area, to be able to sustain it. Now, I saw them in the store. Each passion fruit, it costs up to $5 to $6 for one. And if you grow this correctly, you can get hundreds of them in a season. All right, $5 to $6. So for one, that tell you how delicious that fruit is and can be. If you know some good recipes, there's nothing else that you can kind of mistake that for. You got to have passion fruit, but $5 to $6 a piece is crazy. They about the size of probably bigger than a golf ball. They are bigger than a golf ball. In between baseball and a golf ball size. But you're gonna pay $5 or $6 for each one of them. In the pulp inside, there's not a whole lot of it, but it is delicious. So let me take you to one of our passion fruit vines and show you exactly what we're looking at. All right, fam. So we grow 4 to 5 different varieties of passion fruit. All right, so we have grown more, but for unforeseen circumstances, we did lose a few of them. But if you can see this one, all right, this is 2 plants on the trellis, and this is 1 year's worth of growth. It's good for anxiety, sleep problems, and it helps with pain, heart rhythm problems, menopause symptoms, and attention deficit hypertensive disorder. This comes from the flower of a passion fruit, guys. We had years where we didn't have nearly as much growth as this greenery, and hundreds of passion fruit. Let me remind you, $5 to $6 a piece grew on one of these vines. And this year, they did not produce many. I want to say I got 5 total off of this whole vine, and it's because of the heat, I'm sure, because I have had growers all over in Florida and everything say that they had the same exact problem with their passion fruit. But now that the weather has cooled off, we're starting to get flowers and starting to get developing fruit. So hopefully it's not too late to get a good harvest of the passion fruit for this year, but it's been not normal, let's say that. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all exactly what I do to go ahead and get my passion fruit and keep it viable for the winter. All right, fam, so this is a pretty simple process. This is one of the vines, one of my passion fruit vines. All right, guys, so easy. All you have to do is get you one of these vines at the end and clip it. Alright, so this is a cutting that will produce you a whole new plant. Alright, so all I tend to do is get a snip here. You can put some rooting hormone on the bottom. Get you a pot and some soil and just stick it in. All right, so you don't necessarily need a piece this long. So all you would do is cut it right there. All right, you cut it. Now this is a whole nother cutting. All right, trim it up, and you just insert it into your pot also. And instead of leaving that whole leaf there, you want to at least cut it in half so it's not taking up too much energy from developing roots. Alright, so this here is your next year's passion fruit in case the winter kills the one that you have in the ground. And you do kind of want to put passion fruit in the ground. Now, would they grow in a pot and you get fruit? Yes, not to the extent that you would actually get a whole bunch, but you can get fruit in a pot. Alright, so if this plant go kapooey over the winter, guess what? I'll put this in the ground, and by next year, by the middle of the summer, I'll pretty much have this whole plant again. So that is how we are able to produce passion fruit every year in a subtropical area, a very tropical fruit in a subtropical area, guys. So you could do the same thing. All right, fam. So another amazing tropical fruit that you can grow in the subtropical area if you're willing to do the work. All right, this is guava. Yes, guava is an amazing fruit. There are a lot of different varieties which have a lot of different tastes and have a lot of different textures. So you will sure to love some of them. You can make amazing juices, desserts, and just be eaten out of hand. They are just amazing. All right, guys. So we grow these every year. Now I think we only have 3 varieties at this time. We have lost a couple. All right. So when we got on this journey, guys, this was a learning experience. This is something that we had to learn for ourselves. There's not a whole lot of people talking about growing tropical fruit in a subtropical area and the best method in doing it. So if you actually know how to do it, it's because you took the time to try to figure it out. I'm telling you how we do it so you can follow along on our path and come up with ways of your own to be successful at doing this. Okay, so guava, we do pretty much the identical same thing, but guava sometimes make it through the winter. I mean, we had one of the harshest winters that we had in a long time, and this particular guava made it in ground. Now, grant you, we did lose a couple of them this winter. So depending on the location, the variety, all this stuff, Mother Nature is whether or not you're gonna be successful without a problem in every year. But regardless, you need to go ahead and be sure that you're gonna be able to plant your guava or your other plants again next year. You live in a subtropical area, you got to do work for subtropical area. All right, so we're gonna just take and go ahead and get us a cutting. And we're gonna go ahead and trim this cutting up. You want to remove most of the foliage because you want your plant to be able to concentrate on making roots, so it can have a brand new plant for your next year. All right, so you take that, cover it up, water it in, and this is a new plant for next year. Now guys, you can use your rooting hormone and all that, you know, probably give you a better chance of success. I haven't found that to be the case for me, but you know, that's just what it is. And there's a chance that this would fail, so do a few of them. But this will be a plant that you will have to be able to make it through to the next year and repeat the process. Do your research on guava so you can find out just how amazing these fruit are. You know, I'm sure a lot of people all over the country have no idea what a real guava tastes like, or some people never even heard of them. You know, won't have no idea on what to do with them. But if you do your research and you try them, you will love them. One thing we do when we go down south, we make sure that we go to places and we try the exotic fruits. I mean, I can't tell you how amazed that we are that a lot of these fruits ain't mainstream because it tastes so amazing. But the thing is, they don't ship well. They don't hold well, so they're not something that they can just send everywhere to sell. And if you do find them in the store, you're probably gonna have a lackluster, you know, experience with them because they do not taste as good as they would if you actually got them fresh from the tropics or fresh out of your yard. So make sure if you go down south, you take the chance to go and find some of these amazing fruit and give them a try. And that way you'll know whether or not you want to grow them on your homestead. We got Daddy's girl out here. This is Nala. To y'all who familiar with the homestead, y'all are familiar with Nala. This Daddy's girl here, right? Ain't you Daddy's girl? So Thor is Mama's boy. They both love both of us, but they can't get enough. Nala can't get enough of me, and Thor can't get enough of his mama. And Trudy, whew, I think she just loves everybody, so more likely she gonna gravitate towards me because somehow female Rottweilers kind of love their male owners. I don't know why. That's just what it is, and the males tend to like their female owners. Ain't that right, girl? Down. Good girl. She's a good girl, Nala. Huh? She is just a whole baby. She can make you think she a monster, ain't it? Okay. All right, guys. So this is another tropical plant that you can successfully grow in the subtropical area. All right. This is Jamaican hibiscus or rosero, or however you want to call it. It has many names. This is a very popular plant for making teas, and yeah, you can grow it in a subtropical area. This is it can be expensive, you know. If you look this plant up and look at the fruit and you know the tea leaves or whatever you want to call it, these are the fruits. All right, so what they do, they will bloom out a flower, which I'm sure this is why they call it hibiscus, because this is a beautiful flower, and then form the bulbs here, which is the fruit, and you get to make teas with them. Now guys, we grew this last year for the very first time, and we had a humongous tree. A humongous tree, guys, and it gave us so many fruit. And what we did is took and freeze dried a lot of it, and we tend to give it away to a lot of people, but man, my wife's starting to fix it for me, and I fell in love with it. So I'm not giving any of this away. The Jamaican hibiscus, it fights inflammation, it lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, promotes weight loss, fights bacteria, support liver health. You know, one of the limbs at the bottom got pretty heavy and it broke. I simply took that limb and I cut some pieces off of it and was able to develop this particular plant. And when I say this thing took so easy, so all I did is get that limb, you know, cut some of the bottom parts off of it, and I just stabbed it in the ground. And this plant never missed a beat. It never missed a beat. So some of the other limbs that I took off, I brought over here. This is where I have my sunflowers at, and I just stabbed them in the ground. Every single one of them has grown and has fruit on them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 new trees growing in this area. Every last one of them has developed flowers and fruit. So guys, grow your own rosero or Jamaican hibiscus. So guys, get you a cutting, probably about a 6-inch piece. Trim it, and here's your new rosero tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a few of them, and this is gonna be my next year's tree. So we have not had one that made it through to our winter yet, so I'm assuming that it won't do it this year. So what I want to do is prepare, be ready, just in case. So just that simple, guys. I got 3 new plants. Alright, so all I need to do is wait for them to get set root, transfer them to a little bigger pot, and be ready for them to be put up for the winter. Alright, so I definitely want to go ahead and get roots started. I want to get some growth going, and then I want to be able to put them up and save them for the winter. Now you can propagate these from seed. If you get some good viable seeds, they tend to do really well also. But this gives me a start that's ready to go ahead and start doing this thing as soon as the weather warms up. Now rosero is one of these plants that we notice that it starts fruiting once the days are shorter, start getting shorter, and it just started doing this thing, and I'm excited to know that we're gonna have a pretty bountiful crop that I can drink tea all year long. So if you live in a subtropical area and you will be interested in a beautiful vine, you can see these flowers. They are absolutely beautiful. They have a lot of medicinal properties. My wife loves to drink them. We use them to make soap because it's good for your skin and it's good for you. Is the blue butterfly pea. Alright, so As you can see, it is a really thin vine, and we're gonna go ahead and get some cuttings off of it. And all we want to do is push that in so we can get some roots started. Alright, so we also have another piece. We're going to go ahead and trim that one up and also insert it in. Again guys, if you want to use rooting hormone, feel free. If it works for you, it works for you. And we're going to go ahead and fill up this tray so we can make sure we have enough blue butterfly pea next year to go ahead and get started. Alright fam, so the blue butterfly pea is an amazing plant. It is absolutely beautiful. It's probably going to be one of the most beautiful flowers that you can ever see on a plant. We love it, but that is not the most important benefit to the blue butterfly pea. It has so many amazing benefits to you. It helps with tons of things. It promotes healthy skin, which is one of the reasons why we use it in our soap making. It helps with hair growth, helps with anxiety. They say it may boost brain power, supports reproductive health, and supports overall health. So guys, you can't lose with the blue butterfly pea. It's an amazing plant. If you can grow it, I suggest that you grow it. And if you live in a subtropical area like we do, hey, I just gave you the secret to being able to grow it every year. So I think we have plenty of blue butterfly pea to go ahead and start our next year's crop. Alright fam, so another amazing tropical fruit plant that we grow is the soursop. The soursop is an amazing plant for all kind of medicinal reasons. Alright, but I love the taste of soursop. So guys, some of the properties that make soursop tea so amazing is the fact that it relieves anti-inflammatory diseases, it prevents diabetes, maintains eye benefits, it protects the stomach, improves stress and anxiety, regulates blood pressure, and it strengthens the immune system. So guys, if that's not worth just growing it for the foliage, I don't know what is. Alright, and that's just the tea. And the fruit has a whole lot more benefits, and there's probably way more benefits to just the tea, but those benefits are amazing. People ask us, did you ever get fruit? No, we never got fruit off of any of our soursop. Not the saying that we won't, but if we don't, we still will be fine with growing this tree just for the leaves. Alright fam, so quick story. When me and my wife started going down south, we started trying all these amazing new fruit that we never heard of before, and couldn't believe that these plants, these fruit wasn't mainstream, because it tastes way better than anything that we had ever eaten in our lives. So we started looking into them, and we found out that there was a ton of medicinal properties in all the tropical plants. And then we started realizing the active ingredients in these medications that people are using are in these tropical plants. Of course, the medication got all these other things, additives, and all this other junk in it that mess you up. But you can just get your issues taken care of by some of these plants that we grow and that you can grow. So I told you all some of the medicinal properties of the plants that we talked about today, but there's so many more. When we find out that these plants help with your blood pressure, help with your skin, help with your eyes, help with your digestive system, help calm you, all these medical issues that people have, you can relieve them by, you know, getting some of these plants and ingesting them. If you have a homestead, a farm, and you actually raise animals, banana plants are amazing. If you don't like the fruit, guess what? That whole plant is. So guys, I do feed these banana leaves to my rabbits, and they tend to love it. Now my new bunnies that we have never been introduced to banana leaves, so it remains to be seen how that does. Other bunnies, they love them. They tear them up. So I think she likes it. I know my boy here will love him some good old banana leaf. Alright fam, so I want to thank y'all all for joining me today while I get me some cutting so I can keep my growing going for next year. And hopefully I interested some of y'all or told y'all something that y'all didn't know, or inspired y'all to do something that y'all wasn't doing, so you can better your life and the life of your family. Guys, till the next time,